Mr. Matherson, you and your mother have demanded the defendant, Ms. Robinson, appear in court today because you claim you are not the father of her 3-year-old son, Jaden, and say she's been ducking a paternity test for years. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Robinson, you and your mother say Mr. Matherson has known this is his child from day one, and he needs to grow up and stop running from his responsibilities. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Matherson, why wait 3 years to come to this court?
Your Honor, I didn't wait 3 years. I waited, I tried last year to contact this same court, and she refused. She was ducking and dodging, you know.
I do see in the court records, original contact date is June of 2015. So that was more than a year ago. You say Ms. Robinson's been ducking and dodging.
Yes, Your Honor.
We've been trying.
Ms. Robinson, have you been ducking this case?
No, Your Honor, I haven't been contacted by anyone. I have no reason to duck and dodge.
Because are you certain?
100%.
Jaden is 3 years old. I've seen him maybe 5 or 6 times during the 3 years. Alexis is always keeping Jaden away from us. There's nothing, we're not accomplishing anything. So today is the day to find out if Jaden is my grandson.
So, Ms. Robinson, are you keeping Jaden away from Ms. Brooks and Mr. Matherson?
Right now, Your Honor, I am.
Why?
Because Tawan is not responsible. I also sent the threat that my son, when he got my son, he was going to take him back to Ohio. So, yes, Your Honor, I did not.
Yes, I was going to take him to Ohio to see my family if he was mine.
Without my permission.
Without your permission.
The thing is, Alexis, from the beginning when we found out
She
Alexis
confused.
was pregnant with
She don't know what's
Jaden,
going on. She don't know who she
it was
wants the
told
child
to
father
me.
be.
It was told to me.
That's all.
To get a paternity test when we found out she was pregnant by close friends.
So someone told you
Yes.
to get a paternity test?
Correct, because she's very promiscuous and that she is following in her mother's footsteps.
This didn't start for the paternity test until me and his mom got into it last year, and she spoke up and started speaking with a paternity test. And I guess that's what Tawan mind went with his mom.
That's not true. As things start going on and it was a fight trying to get to see Jaden is when I start saying we need to get a paternity test because no real mother is going to keep a child from her father. I don't care what the
just as well as no real mother is just going to let their child just go when she's getting threats with this man.
Just gonna let their child go. I wanted my son
Let's get some order. I want to understand. Mr. Matherson, what are you saying?
I wanted my son to be a junior. My name is no part of his name, period. That's for one.
Oh, so do you feel because they never considered giving Jaden your name that was somehow an indication that he may not be yours?
Your Honor, I didn't feel like I should have to give him his last name because at the same time, we was not married. I believe my son should have my last name because Tawan at the beginning,
Jaden, I'm sorry.
Tawan was not showing me any responsibility that he would be able to take care of my child.
Because y'all wanted him to give y'all his money to put in a bank for y'all to spend, for y'all enjoyment.
Man, we're talking about a newborn child, so I was taking full responsibility of taking care of their child.
I did not have
but if I'm going to him and I'm saying give me $20 a week for your child, that's $100 a month. That's not no money for no child. There shouldn't be no pressure on that.
Money go to you.
So hold on, before we get there, I want to go back because I want to understand this relationship. You two are very young.
Correct.
Were you high school sweethearts?
At one point in high school, yes.
Did you use protection?
No.
Obviously not.
Were you all in a committed relationship?
Yeah, well, from what I know, yes. I mean, she's a compulsive liar. She does what she wants. She's very sneaky.
Vindictive. At the end of the day, we are here because, like you said, Alexis is very promiscuous. There was times when you couldn't find Alexis and you found her with a lot of guys.
That was never the case. But even if that was the case, what does that have to do with the paternity of your child, your son?
Well, it does have something to do with the paternity if she was sleeping with any of these guys.
I was not.
That's just what she's saying.
For example,
I was not.
One at a time. You're saying that's not true, Ms. Robinson.
My mama was very strict at the time. I was either at school or around Tawan.
Around me, huh? What about when I went to work and you was with a boy and supposedly all y'all did was kiss?
What guy is that, Mr. Matherson?
I never heard about
A guy named... A couple days later, she told me because someone told her if she didn't tell me, they were going to tell me.
I did recall my mom didn't even allow me to have a cell phone at this time.
So all this is a lie, Ms. Robinson?
Correct.
Basically, this is the first time we ever heard of it.
Ever.
So you're saying, Ms. Robinson, that you never even heard about this questioning of the paternity?
Until last year.
We got into it and she texted, but I've never heard anything from Tawan until now.
The thing about it is, it boils down to it's like they're money hungry. And just like Ty said at the beginning, she wanted $25 a week from Taiwan for the baby. Y'all put y'all side up. What we do on our side, we got this. We got this.
Your Honor, that wasn't doing anything.
If Jaden is living in my home,
under my roof.
So whatever you're doing for Jaden, if we're never seeing, how's that happening to this child?
Okay, that's what I'm saying. That's like,
we have
one at a time. Let's get some order.
She fast. Watch her. She fast. And that very first time when I was told somebody she was pregnant, the first thing out of their mouth, get a paternity test.
If you felt
and that's
like
why
that,
I'm here.
If you felt
Ty,
like
this is not the first time
why
you're hearing
was you
this.
showing up? You was showing up at the house, Lee. You was
to see
buying
if I could see any features of him. I don't see any features of Taiwan.
But Lee, you still.
However,
features last
of me.
week, you still been saying this is your grandbaby.
Well, you know, today is the day.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell.
Regardless of whatever Lexus had going to Taiwan, your son needs to grow up and be a man and take care of his child.
And she needs to grow up and be a mother. And she needs to grow up and be a mother. Because he's never,
all right, one at a time.
There.
Listen, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I don't understand what any of you all are saying, and I really don't want to have to dismiss your case. I want to understand this, Ms. Robinson.
Yes.
You have not allowed Mr. Matherson to take Jaden.
Recently, he was just getting Jaden around Jaden's birthday.
So you did see Jaden around his birthday, Mr. Matherson.
Correct, but that was the first time in a long.
And even though you go and pick him up, you still have a doubt when you look at the baby?
Yes,
I mean, he's 3 now. He's not even a baby, and he's a little boy. You
Just-
have doubt.
And there's a lot of different reasons why I have doubt.
Tell me.
Still come and pick him up.
Well,
Let him speak.
The first reason is I didn't get a chance to sign the birth certificate. I kept calling. Oh yeah, we're gonna do it. Never got to do it. Next thing you know, she disappeared after Christmas. You know, I got evidence, you know.
Pop up with another
that,
What evidence is that?
The birth certificate that I didn't get to sign it.
Let me see that. Ron, will you hand that to me, please?
Here you go, Your Honor.
Thank you. You submitted the birth certificate to court, and it does not have your name.
Right.
You're saying that you were asking to sign this. When are we going to execute it? And they kept telling you, we're going to do it, but then it never got done.
Right.
And to this date, 3 years later, you still aren't listed on the birth certificate.
Correct.
And you feel like that's them giving you the runaround because they know you're not the biological father.
Right.
What was the second point you were about to make? I want to understand
It's
it.
like, even when we were together, she's been with different people. It was, this guy, which ended up being, her boyfriend now. For example,
why would he call another man dad?
For example,
why would she allow him to do that?
Does Jaden call another man dad, Ms. Robinson?
No, Your Honor.
Then you can ask him. You
Your
can
Honor.
interact with him. He does not. He called him Greg. And as far as the birth certificate goes, she had never obtained his birth certificate. So they were supposed to go together for him to sign and to buy it. Taiwan was supposed to pay for the birth certificate. That's something he chose never to do. So nobody pressed the issue as far as you want to sign. Ain't nobody finna pay no money for you to put your name on something if you're not there to support the child. So that's what it was. When we had a problem with it, you wouldn't know.
It's always about money.
Since the day Jaden been born, my mom have been helping me take care of this child. At that time, I did not have a job. I'm only 19. I graduated and got a job so I could take care of my responsibilities. At the end of the day, I have not seen any progress from Mr. Matherson.
You're not going to see it
at all.
Exactly.
Let's get some order. Because it's becoming obvious.
Crazy.
Listen.
You don't show and tell him to who's supposed to be his father.
Mr. Matherson, it's becoming a power struggle, and the paternity issue is still on the table. I'm trying to move this forward and understand where you all are. Now, Mr. Matherson has stated he believes there's another gentleman that could be Jaden's father. I want to hear from him. Ron, can you please escort him into the courtroom?
Have a seat next to the judge.
Hello, sir.
How you doing?
Have a seat. State your name for the record.
Gregory Collins.
Mr. Collins. Mr. Collins, Mr. Matherson has indicated that he believes that you are Jaden's biological father. Do you believe you are?
I'm 100% sure I'm not his father because I wasn't even talking to Alexis on that level at that time.
Are you all in a relationship or are you friends?
Don't say nothing.
And we've been friends for 5 years. Okay. Since they've been knowing each other,
So you've been friends for 5 years?
Correct.
Okay. So now.
We're in a relationship right now.
Now you're in a relationship. How long have you all been in this relationship?
About 3 months.
Exactly.
3 months. Okay, so 90 days. And the child's 3 years old.
You mean to tell me it take 3 months to raise a child? You've been in her life.
3 years. You ain't did nothing.
3 years, right?
3 years.
How would you know?
I know
How can he do anything if
You going for what she told
they
you, right?
don't allow him to see him?
Exactly.
You say you are sure you are not Jaden's biological father.
Yeah.
And yet you've been a father figure to him.
Yeah.
Have you witnessed Mr. Matherson try to step up to the plate and see
No.
Jaden?
Because he ain't been around that long. That's why.
I seen him trying to sexual comment. You over here trying to text her sexual comments, and that's not cool.
Could you prove that?
Yeah.
No, you couldn't.
He was sending the comments talking about doing what she used to do to him, and she doing it to me, and stuff like that.
Goodness gracious. It's sad because this child is 3. You just talk at one another. You don't have conversation. None of you. Just constant accusation. And the worst part of it is you arguing that they haven't done anything and they arguing that you don't let them do anything. From a person in my position, this is just so ridiculous on so many levels. It's ridiculous. No. Y'all not gonna out-talk me or over-talk me. I'm talking now. Because this is some nonsense for this child. The point is how you all can be on 2 opposite sides of the same page. Because it sounds like to me, they are saying they want to see this child until they know whether or not it's his biological child, and you're saying he's not stepping up to the plate. Everybody's so offended. I'm offended for Jaden. I really am. You're too comfortable in just the argument, but no one's coming up with solutions. The only way we're gonna figure out how to move forward, I should say, is to get the results, and I have them. Ron, I'm ready for the envelope.
Yes, ma'am.
The results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Matherson versus Robinson, when it comes to 3-year-old Jaden Robinson, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Collins, you are not the father.
Sleepy, I'm sorry.
Well, you should wake up. Don't play in this courtroom.
He think
He
it's
got
against
No. What you not gonna do in this very serious moment where I'm getting the answers for this child? Now, you don't come in here like you surrogate father of the year. Now, when I turn my head, you gonna clown? That's what we're not gonna do. That's what we're not gonna do.
He don't know. He must not.
No, I don't wanna hear it. I'm done with testimony. We'll sit around here and clown at this turning point in this child's life. In the case of Matherson v. Robinson, when it comes to 3-year-old Jaden Robinson, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Matherson, you are the father. That's your little boy.
Now, can we see him?
Your Honor.
Now, can we see
May I
him?
have that paper, please?
Now, honey,
May I
I'm
have
gonna get a
partial
copy
custody?
of it. This was about to have that. That's what's going on.
May I have custody?
Partial.
Hold
Partial,
on.
full?
Partial.
Hold on. None of you let anyone finish a sentence. You so quick with a comeback, you keep going backwards, because you don't listen. Now, you all can bring this child up in this nonsense if you want. And when his life is in turmoil, when his spirit is half full, when he's questioning who he is and why he is and where he belongs, then you all gonna have to take the blame for that. Because when you bring a child up in a toxic environment, that's what happens. Now, the first thing you need to work on, Mr. Matherson, you're not on his birth certificate. So you're gonna have to take these results back to your home state and you're gonna have to petition the court because you need to get your name on his birth certificate. But you have to take the initiative.
It's hard to get them to do that,
If
Your
you
Honor.
listen, let's not talk in the negative because it only manifests more negativity. Now, you're his daddy. People look to their father to protect them, to provide for them.
Which I will do.
Part of that protection is protecting not only him physically, but mentally and emotionally. And you too, Miss Robinson, because at the end of the day, you two are the parents. You all have to create a safe space for this child. Because y'all have gotten on my last nerve in 30 minutes. I can only imagine what you're gonna do to him in 30 seconds. If you can't figure it out for yourselves, the court will figure it out for you.
That's what the court will do.
And there will be visitation parameters on record, and you can abide by them, or you can be held in contempt.
Yeah.
You don't even know how blessed he is that he got the answer today. And you all were blessed with resolution today, and there's absolutely no gratitude for it. You're just still angry. Mr. Harrison, you are suing the defendant, Ms. Grant, for paternity fraud. You've also petitioned the court to remove your name from the acknowledgement of paternity document for 4-year-old Aaliyah Harrison because you claim you signed it under false pretenses.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Grant, you claim you may have lied about your ongoing affair, but you did not lie about Mr. Harrison being your daughter's biological father.
Absolutely, Your Honor. Yes, ma'am.
So, Mr. Harrison, explain, why are you suing for fraud?
Well, Your Honor, I signed my acknowledgement for paternity for my daughter, and I've done everything for her since the day she's been born. I've had several people come to me through Facebook and through text messaging on my phone saying that, Aaliyah is not your daughter. I don't care what, Miss Grant is saying, she is not your daughter.
Are they explaining what they base this assertion on?
Well, apparently it's through several of her friends, that
they're
maybe
not any
she's
kind of friends of mine, Your Honor, if they're going around talking behind my back.
Well, see, I have to say that the person that gave me these accusations had no reason other than the fact that they had an argument and she felt like she had to get a little bit of revenge on her, and started telling me things such as, but also said, this child does not look anything like you. You need to start doing a little bit of investigation.
Well, she's biracial, Your Honor. What is she supposed to look like? She looks like herself.
She doesn't look like she has anything.
Ms. Grant, you do admit you cheated, is that correct?
Yes, I had a relationship with a man that I had met when I was very young. I met him when I was 18 years old. He was a good friend to me.
Mr. Harrison, when did you find out about this?
Your Honor,
when he went snooping through my phone.
I have to say, she had this affair with this person for 15 years. I've only been with her for 8. So this goes way before we were ever even together in the first place. So after 8 years with her and a previous child before the one in question, we have already had a child together. So she's been cheating on me literally the entire 8-year span that we were together, including the time of our first child.
So just take me to the day when you found out.
I found out when I was bringing home like a dryer or something like that and asked her to help me out bringing it in. And she wasn't helping me the way I needed to be helped getting it through the door. And I started getting maybe a little bit upset, just trying to bring a big washer and I needed help guiding it through. She got upset and she said, I just don't want to do this anymore. I just don't want to do it anymore.
I didn't want to have to keep lying to him, Your Honor. I got tired of, being dishonest and being disrespectful in my relationship. And I gave him every option to, decide what he wanted to do. And so I decided that instead of letting somebody else blackmail me like my so-called friend had done.
How about honesty? How about honesty 7 years ago? How about, honesty at the very beginning?
Well, and I want to understand what happened that day. So out of the blue, help me move the washer turns into, I just don't want to do this.
It turns into him getting frustrated and fussing and cursing. And I said, you know what? I can't do this anymore with you.
And so, Ms. Grant, who was this person?
This person was a friend of mine. I had met this person when I was 18 years old. I was a single parent of a 2-year-old daughter at the time. He helped me with her. He helped me financially. He has bought cars. He has paid rent. He has paid bills. Okay? When I met Mr. Harrison and I told my friend, I'm in love and we're gonna have a baby. And he wished me the best. He said, I'm gonna bow out gracefully. I know you'd like to get married. And that wasn't his intention for me. And so, like a real friend, he just wanted to know how I was doing.
Was this strictly platonic or was this a sexual relationship?
At times it was sexual, but for the most part, it was platonic while I was with Mr. Harrison.
But this whole time, she would sit there and go run off.
How did you manage to do this for 15 years, but 8 years while you were with Mr. Harrison? How did you pull this off?
Lies.
Non-stop, the entire time. Because I've asked her
lies.
several
I got tired
times
of
throughout
lying.
this entire 8-year relationship if she's ever cheated. Absolutely not. I would never cheat on you.
Ms. Grant, Mr. Harrison is suing you
Yes, ma'am.
for paternity fraud.
Yes, ma'am.
Because he says he signed the acknowledgement of paternity under false pretenses because he feels like you misled him, lied.
Yes, but I didn't lie about the paternity. I lied about whether or not I was seeing somebody, but like I said, the person wasn't even in our area at the time.
So you're saying you were not sleeping with this person
Not at that time, no.
during the time Aaliyah was conceived?
But how am I supposed to ever believe that after an entire 8-year relationship? Aaliyah's only 4 now. You see what I'm saying? That's a long time to supposedly not just
Absolutely,
be,
that's a long time,
with
but that's
them.
why
So
we're
your
here
point
now.
is, how do I believe that
Well,
when
she
you
sat
already
there and told me when she admitted up to all this, she told me, yes, it's been going on the whole time.
But I also, when I came clean, I gave you the option whether or not you wanted to stay, whether or not you wanted to go ahead and call it quits for good, forever.
Yes, you're right.
Or if you wanted to go ahead and, lay it out all out
Because I'm not
on
a
the line.
deadbeat and
Because
actually
he's
want to be
cheated on
around
me
my
too.
children if they're mine. I'm not
He's
going to
cheated on
sit
me
there.
too.
I'm not going to sit there. I told her time and time again, I said, I don't care how bad at times our relationship is. Let's wait until the kids get older so that they can understand a little bit better than dad just leaving at 4 and 7 years old. The thing is, I love her to death. She's my best friend, and she really is.
Look,
I could spend 100 hours
there
straight with her
are a lot
and never.
of people out here that love people
It's
but
the
don't
lies.
trust them.
It's the
Absolutely.
lies. That's all it boils down to is lies. That's it. It's just the lies. I feel like she will lie for no reason whatsoever.
Miss Grant, when were you last intimate with this other guy?
December.
In December.
Before Mr. Harrison and I decided to try and reconcile. We had been living apart for almost 10 months.
Almost 10 months.
And so this is just months ago, 2 months ago.
Let me
that you
also
really
say this. I had major ankle surgery in February of 2014. She decided that was the time she wanted to break up. And while I'm immobile, I can't even get up from the couch. After major ankle surgery, she was dolling up and darting out the door while I had to watch the kids on crutches, couldn't even get off the couch.
And despite this, you still wanted to be with her.
Absolutely. I tried. And it wasn't, I love her and I love my kids so much, that I was willing to bend over backwards and forgive her for all of her misdeeds. All of them.
What about all your misdeeds?
Every single
Don't sit
one
there
of
and
them.
act like you haven't cheated on me.
I'm not saying
He
that.
cheated on me with someone who is, he's an indie pro wrestler. He cheated on me with someone who they call ring rats. They call them ring rats for a reason, Your Honor.
Okay. The relationship is definitely torn.
Yes.
In turmoil.
And now I was ready to lay it all out on the line.
And now the paternity, though, of this beautiful young child is in question.
I'm to the point where, we laid everything out on the
But you
table.
feel like it was all false pretenses, that she lied the entire time and set you up for this. That's what paternity fraud is.
Yeah.
I did lie. I admit to lying about being
So how am I to know?
with
How am I
somebody
to
else
know?
here and there.
How am I
So
to
do you also admit, Ms. Grant, to basically defrauding him, basically saying this is your child when you knew for certain that it was not his child? Did you do that?
No, ma'am. I knew 100% that she was his child because she was conceived during a blizzard.
What does snow on the ground have to do with a child's paternity?
Because the other person doesn't like the cold weather and he went to Florida.
She feels like she could sit
He
there
was
and
not
name
there.
the day of conception.
I
with her.
can.
And I don't see how.
Hold on. Let me. I have a conception calculator here. I want to understand this. So, what day was Aaliyah born?
Her birthday is September 15th of 2010.
September 15th, 2010. If her birthday's September 15th, the dates of conception would be somewhere between December 19th to December 27th.
Yes, ma'am. Her birthday is September 15th.
You say this is a blizzard. This is how you know it could not be the other man's child, is because this man doesn't like the
He
cold.
took off.
And so he was not there. He was gone.
Yeah, he took off.
All right, so let me pull up the weather.
It doesn't make much sense, Your Honor, because this person
I'm
doesn't
sorry,
have
it
the
makes
time
sense to
in
me.
the
That
time
person
to
has the
leave.
time and the money to do whatever he wants.
It says here, snowfall, drifts several feet deep.
It was a bad year. And it was a bad year the year before as well. I mean, we had ice storms that almost like mirrored
the
each other.
bottom line is the weather that Ms. Grant is describing is in fact true, that it was very snowy weather. And her recollection is this gentleman that she has had this 15-year-long affair does not like the snow, so he was gone. Do you believe that assertion or not?
No, no, I don't.
That's what I wanted to understand.
I don't.
I don't expect him to believe it. I expect him to believe cold, hard facts and your results.
Everything in me wants to believe everything she said. I've been with her 8 years, almost 9. I want to believe everything.
Off and on, not straight through, because there's been times where he hasn't even
ups and downs. Like I said, there's been ups and downs.
Time zone as me.
Ms. Grant, you do understand.
Yes, ma'am.
Based on your testimony and what you've admitted to in your relationship, that at this point he just doesn't believe
I don't expect for him to believe anything, but he also, we're at the point where we don't believe each other about anything except for what time it is and if it's sunny outside or not.
I cannot go any further in the relationship as far as marrying her, moving back into the house with her until I get something in concrete about Aaliyah.
And my kids keep coming to me and asking me, when he comes to visit, where's daddy going?
I have to also sit there and say,
explain that to a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old.
She has 3 other kids other than mine that I've also taken in.
So the truth is the stakes are very high.
Yes,
and it's
ma'am.
not just this relationship on the line. There's an entire family.
5 people. 5 people inside the house right now are affected by what's going on.
More than 5 people.
And
I have people right now telling me that I ought to be ashamed of myself for even being here to prove to this man who I am in love with at this very moment, even though he is accusing me of not knowing who the father of my child is, that I ought to be ashamed of myself for wanting to come in front of you and prove to him and the rest of the world that yes, I've done wrong, but I'm willing to admit that and I'm willing to right those wrongs for my children.
But Ms. Grant, as you stand there and I see how emotional you are when you speak.
Yes, ma'am.
You do understand that much of this you've caused by this 15-year-long affair and
pure
the secret.
dishonesty. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
But your point is that you're ready now to just step up to the plate, admit what you've done wrong.
Because he has the right to know.
When we got into it and
I was willing to lay it all out there
leaving.
so that he could be there for the kids if he wanted to be. If he doesn't believe that she's his, that's his problem.
And so if Aaliyah is not your biological daughter, what are you gonna do? Are you leaving the family? Are you gonna try to work this out?
I just think after all the lies, I just don't think I could bring myself to reconcile again with her. Her friend that had hit me up on Facebook and texted, she apparently told her friend that I was not her dad. So that's
like she knows she wasn't there with us.
Apparently you told her.
No, I didn't.
I don't know.
Okay.
Her friend told you that Miss Grant said that you're not the father.
Yes.
I never said that.
You state, and you are suing because you believe, Mr. Harrison, that Miss Grant purposefully, with intention, lied to you about the fact that you were Aaliyah's biological father.
I don't think it's a question of her trapping me or whatnot. I think it was more or less, it was the time, and when she found out she was pregnant, we both kind of found out at the same time, and I was supposed to be the only one around, and with her wanting to break up with me just on spite because she didn't want to come clean and tell the truth.
I understand that, but you have to understand that there is a difference as you talk about a legal cause for paternity fraud. There is a difference between not wanting to tell my partner, my mate, that I've also had an affair, to purposefully, with intention, defrauding him, telling him, you are the father of this child, when I know for certain that somebody else is, and making you sign an acknowledgement of paternity. Those are two completely different things. And even though the lie she told, the lie she lived, was morally wrong on every level, the legal foundation for paternity fraud has just not been presented here in this courtroom today. And, as I look to the law in your home state, even though you're able to sue for paternity fraud, there's a statute of limitations.
It's non-contestable after 24 months, Your Honor. He's the daddy.
You know Aaliyah's 4 now.
Yes.
You would have had 2 years. And you have a lot on the line here. Yes, morally, wrong on every level. Legally, not paternity fraud.
He doesn't believe she's his because of the
I think it's time for the
date that she was
results.
born.
Are we ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Harrison versus Grant, when it comes to 4-year-old Aaliyah Harrison, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Harrison, you are her father.
I told you.
I'm happy.
Good, good. How do you feel, Miss Grant?
I feel vindicated, Your Honor. Absolutely. I may have lied about my affair, but I know who the father of my child is.
Ms. Murray, you are here today to get Mr. Lee to stop denying that he fathered your 14-month-old daughter, Winter. You demand he man up and own up to his responsibility after today's DNA test. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Lee, you had a one-night stand with Ms. Murray before her pregnancy, but claimed she later confirmed she was not pregnant by you. You admit to one night, but state she had multiple men and there's no way you are her child's father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'll start with you, Ms. Murray. Tell us why you opened your case today.
Well, basically, Your Honor, Mr. Lee is a deadbeat. He has not done anything for Winter.
That's ludicrous. I have 6 other kids.
Exactly.
And I am not the father of her baby. She wants this because she's trying to pin this baby on me because she know I'm a good guy and I'm a good father.
You're not a good anything. You're a deadbeat. You barely take care of them 6 kids that you got. So.
And Winter's 15 months, and you're saying that Mr. Lee hasn't done anything for?
He has not done nothing. Not
I have my
one
reasons.
thing.
How often does Mr. Lee see Winter?
He's only seen Winter once when she was about 6 months old.
One time?
One time.
In 15 months?
Yes, ma'am.
So all of this because you're denying paternity, Mr. Lee?
Yes, I have multiple reasons on why. And basically, when she sent me the video of her taking the pregnancy test, she said, so y'all won't think I'm lying? And she peed on the stick and sent it to me. And I was like,
basically, I said, so nobody won't think that I'm lying about being pregnant.
Who was y'all?
I said, so nobody won't think I'm lying about being pregnant because everybody know that I was not trying to have any kids ever. So to get pregnant was a surprise. And this is your child.
And in your mind, because you said y'all, that means more than one person, AKA more than one father.
Yeah, and she's admitted that. So I don't even know how we here. She's blatantly
So
told me.
I don't know why we here
back
because she
to-
looked like your twin.
You can't.
Okay, hold on. I do want to figure out how we got started in this.
Okay.
How did you all meet?
I met Mr. Lee at the club. I used to be a dancer, and he was my customer for about 10 years. So that's really how I met him. He was infatuated with showbiz. But once he got to know Demiki, he did not like me. And he's taking it
But he
out
was
on his
your
innocent
customer
child.
for 10 years.
Them
Yes.
lies, man. Them lies.
Mr. Lee, tell me about this woman you fell for. Was it Miss Murray or was it showbiz?
First of all, I've always known Demiki, and I was never obsessed with her. I ducked her for years because of
Ducked
things
who?
like this. I knew she was full of drama.
You didn't know anything
But
about
were you
me.
her customer?
Whatever that means.
Yes.
Whatever.
You
Well,
came to the club.
What-
You came to the club every week and tipped me. Yes.
How does it go from giving you a tip to ending up in the bed with you?
I was in a relationship. When that relationship ended, I decided to give him a chance, and I ended up pregnant. So, and now we're
Them
here.
lies. Even when she had a boyfriend, we was keeping contact.
Yeah,
So that
because
never
I was
the
trying to keep
problem.
our business relationship cordial and cute, just so that you could keep coming to the club.
Oh, you were luring him in for these tips.
As he would call me, I'm a finesser.
Yeah.
So I want to find out the first time you all were intimate. How did that happen?
Well, it was after the club. She texted me. I came over, you know, and unfortunately, you know, I broke the golden rule.
You broke the what?
The golden rule.
The golden rule?
Yes.
What's the golden rule?
You never use the stripper's condom. Never.
It was not mine, Fabian. It was yours.
Oh, the golden rule is you never use a condom that the stripper gives you.
Yeah, you bring your own, and I can't.
Did you know that rule, Jerome?
No, but it's good to
Nobody knows that rule but him. Nobody know that rule but him. He just made that up. Who helped you make that up?
Did anybody else out there know that rule?
Somebody helped him make. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Well,
you made that up yourself.
To prove my point, she tampered with the condom.
I ain't tampered with anything. Why would I when I never wanted to have kids in the first place?
But you do admit you had consensual sex with Miss Murry.
Yes.
So why are you saying there's no way you could be Winter's biological father?
Well, because after that, I would follow up with her weeks, you know, for like weeks. You know, I was asking, hey, have your period came? You know, I was steady. I was on her about it, you know.
You was asking me that because you was trying to keep up with my
Yes.
ovulation because you was trying to get me pregnant.
So, Mr. Lee, let me ask you this. How did you find out she was not pregnant?
Well, like a couple of weeks after that, I texted her and she was like, hey, you can stop bugging me. My period came. Just like that, she told me that.
All right, so you submitted those text messages to the court. Let's take a look. So for Mr. Lee, it says, we talk about it tonight. Ms. Murry, you respond, tell me now. And then you respond to her, rather talk about it face to face. What's TBH?
To be honest.
Oh, to be honest, okay. Ms. Murry, then you say, what's the topic though? You not being pregnant, laugh out loud. And then Ms. Murry, you respond, I'm not. I had my period last week, son.
That's the message.
That was after
That's the message.
That was
That's
after
the
first time we had sex. The second time that we had sex, we did not use a condom.
I had sex with her unprotectedly the second time because she had already told me she was already pregnant. So I'm like, you can't get pregnant twice. I'm out the clear, you know.
Now how I'm gonna be pregnant after the first? It was like 3 weeks later. So how I'm gonna be pregnant after the first time?
Wait, the text messages have already said that she told you she wasn't pregnant.
Exactly.
No, but this was like afterwards. This was afterwards.
How many times can you get pregnant in 2 months?
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. But she had already told me she wasn't the second
So
time.
how long after she told you she was not pregnant, how long after that did you sleep with each other again?
Like 2 weeks.
So wait a minute. You meet up again, have sex again, you don't use protection. And you claim that's because she said she's already pregnant.
Yes, ma'am.
But you didn't have any proof of that.
I didn't.
All right.
But see, the thing about it is, I always thought strippers was honest people because they get naked for strangers. So I always took her word because I thought she was honest.
But I'm a schemer though, so why would you take my word?
But right, and you just testified that you broke the golden rule by taking a condom. So I don't even understand how that makes any sense.
Yeah.
We was both being reckless, Your Honor. I can admit that because after my breakup, I went through a phase where I was just really wilding out. But I know that he's the father. She's her father.
Wait, so
because y'all look just alike. It look like you had her. It don't look like
So when you say, Miss Murry, you were wilding out,
yeah.
Does that mean that you were sleeping with more than one person? You were sleeping with other people besides Mr. Lee?
It was one other person.
So now, let me try to understand this. When do you believe you had sex with Mr. Lee the second time? You said the first time was March the 3rd?
Mm-hmm.
And when was the second time?
It was March the 30th.
March 30th.
Mm-hmm.
All right. No. So when did you have sex with the other guy?
It was probably like a week before that.
So around the 3rd week in March.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, I want to take a look at a calendar so we can outline this. So the blue indicates the day you had sex with Mr. Lee, March 30th. The green outlines when you had sex with the other man, which was March 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. So, Ms. Murry, is this calendar correct?
I mean, it wasn't that many days, but it was around that time, yeah. But it wasn't that many days.
Well, I'm trying to figure out a window of conception.
Yeah,
So is that the window?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So now let's go to the conception calculator and see how to figure out what our window of conception would be. When is Winter's birthday? When was she born?
December the 21st.
So December 21st. Let's put that in. If you put in December 21st, 2017, calculate. Okay. So there's sex likely between March 24th and March 30th, which is a window of time. If we go back to the calendar, that is the same window of time where you were intimate with both men. So, Mr. Lee, you see you fall in the window of conception.
Yeah, allegedly.
Do you remember that second time?
It was April the 3rd.
It was not April.
How do you know it was the 3rd?
Because I was hosting a party that day, and after my party, that's when I hit her up and she came, April the 3rd.
You hit me up after the club that Thursday night when I left, and I came to where you were, and we had sex, and I got pregnant.
Miss Murry, did you ever tell the other guy you were pregnant?
Yes.
You did, and what was his response?
I mean, he's still relevant in my life, but he's not.
He's active with Winter. They take pictures together.
Oh.
Winter takes multiple pictures with multiple guys, so I don't know what's going on.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
But that's the truth. I'm here to speak my truth.
Don't try to do that.
Well, hold on. She's 15 months. Is she calling anybody daddy or dad?
She knows mom. She knows her mama. She don't know nothing about no daddy. Look at that. That's your child. Quit playing my baby. Yeah. Well, we gonna find out.
So are you going based on looks, the window of conception? I mean, why are you so certain?
The window of conception, and even after I told Mr. Lee that it could have been another possible father, he told me that if she wasn't his, I owe him a baby. Who says those type of things? You said
somebody
a baby. So you want to have a baby with me.
Your Honor,
you want a baby by showbiz, but you don't like Demiki. That's what it is.
We here because she told me I would rather you be the father than him because he only deals with his kids if he's dealing with the mom. So she said, I really want you
to like that too, though.
I'm like, you can't, it's not about who you want to be the father, it's about who's actually the father.
And you're actually the father and you actually don't do anything for her.
And she's talking about obsession. She's obsessed with me.
Boy, you ain't nobody.
Why do you say that?
She wants me to save her, and I can't save her.
You can't save. I don't need saving. Saving for what?
I can't give you that family image you want.
I don't need no family image. She has a great upbringing, and she has a great family around her. Like, I don't need that. Ain't nobody trying to be in no relationship with you. How many times have I told you that? How many times have I told you that,
and
baby?
I don't want to be in no relationship with you. I don't want to be with you. I don't want to deal with you.
But you was the one that was talking about moving to Florida when I first told you I was pregnant, though. Oh, okay.
Well, one of them gotta be lying.
Him.
Somebody's fronting.
He lying.
So what are you hoping for, Miss Murry?
I just really want Mr. Lee to step up and be involved in Winter's life. She don't need anything financially. She's very well taken care of, but she needs that fatherly love. I grew up in the house with my father. So she deserves that as well. If you only live 40 minutes from us and you only seen this baby once, that's a disgrace.
And what are you hoping for, Mr. Lee?
Well, I'm hoping for closure. And I just want her to stop bashing me because if she's mine, I'm gonna take care of her. But I wasn't finna take care of a child that I knew wasn't mine.
All right. Jerome, I'm ready for the results. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Murry versus Lee, when it comes to 15-month-old Winter Murry, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Lee, you are the father.
Is that what your baby say? Your baby like to say, whoop, whoop.
Now
what?
It has been determined by this court that you made a baby with showbiz, so it's time for some lights, camera, and action as a dad.
Look at that baby. Look at her. She's beautiful. She looks just like you, Fabian. Really? You really?
She's a beautiful little girl. She's 15 months old. She's missed out on 15 months with her daddy. That's your baby. And from the testimony, I understand that you have many children. But I know one thing. You don't have no business up in nobody's club giving nobody no tips. You need to tip these children.
Yeah.
This money.
Child support.
Okay? Now that's the real talk. You haven't seen your baby in 8-9 months. And like when I asked Miss Murry, who does she call daddy? And she has to say, well, she don't know no daddy, she just knows mama. That's not fair to her.
It's active men in
Well, you know what?
You don't know.
No, listen, Miss Murry, let it go. Don't act like somebody else can take your place. You're her father, you made her, and now you're gonna have to take care of her.